What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is our Dylan drives tone, drive around and talk about tone, run an errand and talk about tone, etc. What we're going to do is, in the comment section of this video, ask a question about guitar tone, as basic or as complicated as you want, just anything about guitar tone, and then we will pick from the comment section for the next video that we do in this. I've been trying to do these on Fridays or Saturdays. So if you would do that, completely unrelated to this question, feel free to just ask any question you want down there. We're actually going to lump together two as I go. I'm actually going to the grocery store to get produce because we're having a party tomorrow and I'm in charge of salsa. And I make a wicked salsa. So if you're wanting to know how I make the salsa, stay to the end of the video. Maybe I'll tell you how I do it as we're driving, or maybe on the way home. So the guitar question today is brought to us by Vlada77BG, and there's actually two questions that kind of are a bit the same. Hi Dylan, can you do a video on the issue of loss of tone on Floyd Rose guitars? Meaning, how much of the energy goes unwanted to springs, or how does it affect the tone vis-a-vis the hardtail bridges? The bigger the tremolo, the bigger the loss. Does the larger brass block matter, or is it just snake oil? Thanks. And then John Doe 9764 asked another question kind of related to that. So I thought we would kind of clump them together. Every type of bridge has its advantages and disadvantages. Some say the best of all worlds is a one-piece bridge that has two separate parts. Two separate parts. Okay. Bridge and tailpiece. But combined, Nags is probably the only company building something like that. Hipshot offers the Baby Grand Bridge. Why isn't anybody else doing something like this? Bridge design is really, really important. It is hot. Bridge design is important. It really is. Obviously, we could get into this entire thing. I don't want to get into tone wood. We've been talking about this a bunch. But the bottom line is this: you want to have a mechanically sound guitar. And on an electric guitar, this is something very important to understand, and people don't get this. An electric guitar is not the same as an acoustic guitar. You are not trying to transfer energy to the body. You're literally trying to keep as much energy between the nut and the saddle for as long as possible. So the design of the bridge will do that less or more depending on the design. So let's talk about the two extremes here. We've got a Floyd Rose, which has a bunch of hullabaloo underneath there, and we do have springs, and those springs do allow energy from the string when you pluck the string. So there's another thing to understand. We talked about this before. When you pluck the string, you're introducing a transverse wave. Okay, think the wave like breakdancing. Think the ropes for CrossFit ropes, right? I'm not in that religion, but if I was, I would go like this, and the rope would go. It would make that motion down. So therefore, that's the same thing that you do when you pluck a string. And what happens is that transverse wave goes down and it whacks the nut, and it comes back and it whacks the saddle, and it goes back down. It goes back and forth. And what you want is to excite that movement and have it as accurate as possible. So when I pluck the string, I want the string to do exactly what I told it to do for as long as I tell it to do it. Right? So a fixed bridge is going to do that one way. A tremolo is going to do that another, because you're going to have energy that doesn't just stop at the saddle. It's going to go through the saddle because the whole bridge is going to move because it's on springs, because it's on a pivot. Now the question is tone lost based on the design of the bridge? what do you mean by tone lost? What's lost? Okay, so tone is timbre, right? And this is the problem. People don't know how to define this stuff, but scientifically, tone is timbre. It has nothing to do with sustain. What you're thinking about is sustain. When you hit the note and you're like, oh, bro, like that's the sustain feeling. And then also the sympathetic vibrations, which is not resonance, by the way, whole nother concept. Sympathetic vibrations from the string that you feel in the body that give you that sort of lively feeling that the guitar has, right? So the way the energy transfers from the string through the bridge to the body, or over the bridge to the body, will affect the player experience, in that it will affect how much the guitar moves on your lap. That is not tone. That is sympathetic vibration. That is energy actually being lost out of the guitar into the body. A Floyd Rose will do that more than a fixed bridge. Now, are there advantages or disadvantages? Why would we even care about this? We shouldn't. We shouldn't. I keep telling everybody lately, this is something that's been on my mind a bunch. Don't worry about tone. Don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it. Don't worry about, as long as nothing rattles, as long as everything is solid and the guitar is working as designed and intended, then the next thing you should think about is not more tone, because that's dumb. It's dumb. Play harder. Like, that's dumb. More tone or less tone is dumb. Period. End of story. What we really should be thinking about is the end goal that we are trying to achieve. So stop worrying about what the guitar can or can't do. Worry about what the guitar does do already. So a Floyd Rose bridge is designed, so think about the goal that you want and then buy the guitar accordingly. So let's say we have a Floyd Rose guitar. What are you going to use it for? Are you going to use that for chicken picking country songs? Probably not, but you could. You totally could. My point is, look at what the intention of the instrument is, what you have with it, and use it accordingly. If it does not do the thing that you want it to do two things. One, hang on one second, phone call. One, get a different guitar. Or two, that's just designed to do what you want it to do. Or two, allow what that guitar is doing to shape what you do as a player. Don't try to make the guitar do something it's not supposed to do. You will have probably less sustain with a Floyd Rose because there will be energy that will be lost, right? Because of the springs. But that's what that guitar is made for. That's what it's made for. I don't ride a bicycle on the freeway, right? You ride a motorcycle on the freeway, and the sign says, don't ride a bicycle on the freeway. It's not designed for that. So use the instrument the way it was intended, unless you're goofing around and you're like, whoa, hang on. I'm going to use this for a purpose that it was not intended, and I discover something new. That's also very fun. That's also very cool. So, when we talk about like the baby grand bridges and stuff, the bottom line is that's not your job, right? So I think about this too. Why do I don't get in my Audi, okay? And I don't say, I don't understand why this boost curve is the way it is, blah, blah, blah. I should go in and I'm going to go in and redesign the material of this dash that I already own. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to trust the people in the white suits with the pocket protectors and the fancy pens and the nerdy glasses who get paid to do what they do. And then I'm going to look at the car lot and I'm going to say, I like this feature, I like this feature, I like this feature, therefore, this is the car that I'm going to buy. I did not buy a Corvette because I don't want one, because it doesn't do what I want it to do. I did not buy a Volkswagen Beetle because it doesn't do what I want it to do. I bought an Audi S5 because it does what I want it to do. And I did not second guess the knowledge or the intent of the person who designed it. So, if you buy a guitar with a stop bar and tailpiece, just look at it and go, okay, that's how the guy designed it. Do I like it? Do I not buy the guitar or not? Do I like a Floyd Rose or do I not? If you do not trust the builder of that instrument to be knowledgeable enough, then that's another problem entirely, right? That's another problem entirely. Like, I just think, I think we think way too much about the wrong things about this stuff. Like, don't worry about the answer to either of those questions. Buy the guitar and use the guitar that you want to use for the purpose that you want to use it for. And that's it. I think this whole idea of, well, you know what? If I do this, I'm going to get more tone. No, you're not. You know, if you put a brass block on a Floyd Rose, I'll tell you what will happen. The action will change, as in the functionality of the Floyd Rose will change. It'll feel different when you move it. It will feel different in your lap. It will shake more or less in your lap, and therefore you'll go, holy crap, more tone, bro. It's totally resonant, bro. But what did it really change? It changed the weight of the guitar. What it will probably change is the amount of time that the strings ring if you let them ring. If you have a Floyd Rose guitar, are you playing that guitar with the intent of having strings ring for eternity? Probably not. Because you're one of these wheedly-deedly guys who plays a lot on the higher frets and goes wah, 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 a lot, because that's why you have that guitar. So sustain is not even a thing, because you're like all the time and there's no need for it. Now, if you feel like you want to change how the guitar feels, right? And then you feel that makes you more effective. I think in firearms terms, if I'm going to, looking at a trigger job on a revolver and I'm like, that feels better, I like how that feels, therefore it will make me more effective on that instrument. That's what it does. That's what a brass block does. Does the tone change? Yes. Why? Because you play the guitar differently. That's why. And that's it, right? Like, I just think these conversations need to switch from being so in the minutia about the object itself and look more at the application. And I'm gonna pound on this, and if you don't like this, don't watch my channel. Like, if you don't like hearing this, I don't know what to tell you, because it's the truth. If you talk to people not in the comments section, if you talk to people in real life who like actually play guitar, who like actually like call their moms instead of live with them, you'll find out that they know these things and they just use the guitar for what it's used for. You know, that's really it. All right, well, that's a pretty cool question, actually. It's super fun. It's fun to think about that stuff, but I think directing it more effectively into the creative side and really concerning yourself with what the guitar should do instead of what the guitar is and trying to make it into something else. Just it's wasted energy, in my opinion. Yeah, so do me a favor. If you like these videos, like and subscribe. If you like any of our other videos, like and subscribe. Go to DylanTalksTone.com and buy pickups. We got some really cool custom stuff. Custom acrylic stuff happening. Amazing stuff. I just posted a picture just a couple hours ago on Instagram of a really sick custom Stratocaster pick guard that is not called for yet. Like, I just did it for fun. So you could buy that if you want. Really, really neat. And if you have a question that you want answered in one of these videos, or if you want a challenge, an idea challenged, or we have these conversations, I think it's great. Do me a favor though. We want to have conversations. We want to communicate. Being a jerk face in the comments is not communicating. So if you want to do that, go somewhere else. But if you want to just hang out and talk about guitar stuff and have ideas challenged and have conversations and communicate as a real human being, then I welcome that very much. And do me a favor and ask some more questions for next time. So, super cool. All right, I told everybody at the end of this video, if you hung out, that I'd tell you what I'm doing for salsa. So I'm actually I got to make like 5 quarts of salsa. So typically what I'll do is I think we're going to try to keep this a little bit mild because people that aren't real salsa people are going to want some salsa. So we're going to do probably, I have a Vitamix, and so I'll fill that with, I usually use Roma tomatoes because they're less watery and it gives it more substance. So we're going to do some Roma tomatoes. We are going to do some 1 jalapeno per blender load. We are going to do cumin, garlic, onions. What else? What else? Probably obviously some salt. Probably a touch of lemon juice or lime juice. I'll probably drink a margarita while I do it. And maybe some other stuff. If I go to the store and think of more stuff, I'll tack it on the end of this. And then, the real thing though, it doesn't matter what you put it in. Put whatever you want in. But the real thing is, put your grill in the backyard on low and cut all of your vegetables, half them, third them, quarter them, however you want to do it, depending on the consistency of the salsa you want. Put them on foil in the grill and grill the vegetables for enough to where they're really hot and where they're grilled, where you've actually got some char on them. Take them hot off the grill, put them in the blender, blend them to the consistency that you want with the spices and stuff that you want, and then put them in the jar in a container and let it cool, and then let it sit for a day. And then once you break into that, you'll have this kind of smoky undertone of this salsa that is freaking amazing. I actually used to do it on a Rectech smoker, but I don't have that anymore. I sold it. So I need to get another one. Anyway, there you go. A little off topic on the end of the conversation today. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you in the next video.